Maven interviews are all about capturing people's diverse passions and special skill sets. Bob Garlick and Andrew McGivern chat with local and international specialists to find out what they do and why they do it.
Hi everybody, it's Bob here at the Maven Interviews, and today we've got Bonnie Sainsbury. Andrew, who is Bonnie Sainsbury and why should people be listening to her?
Well, the show's called Maven Interviews, and we're capturing people's diverse passions. And this guest is definitely a Maven. She recently was awarded in a blog post on Forbes the top 20 women social influencers in the world, and also in a separate post in the top 50 overall. So with over 100,000 Twitter followers and an avid social media advocate and marketer, she knows her stuff. Twitter Maven on the Bunker Project, co-host of Women Talking Tech. She's done a heck of a lot, and one of Vancouver's top social influencers and one of the world's top social influencers.
Absolutely. She's a lot of fun too.
Did I miss something? Oh yeah, I missed that. She's a lot of fun.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun. Oh, and she's blonde. There you go. Ta-da!
and she's in Kitsilano.
Yeah. So if you want to go visit her, hey, Bonnie, that we could start off with a totally inane question. Is like, what's your favorite coffee shop or restaurant to sit down and tweet, or do you just tweet at home?
I just tweet at home and on anywhere I am.
Yeah.
But I like the Wired Monk, which is in my neighborhood.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Now, why the Wired Monk? Just because it's a cool place, it's convenient to get to?
Yeah, there's actually 4 coffee shops in a 2-block range. No, it's kits. So the Starbucks is way up in the 4 or 5 blocks away in the shopping district. And so these are all independents. I think Wired Monk may have 2 others, but it's certainly not a large chain. It's very nice. It's run by the owner's in the store all the time. They have interesting things. The food's actually made on the premises for the most part. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, there you go. Oh, Bonnie's got a pussycat just visited her. Everybody, this is an audio podcast, so there's some fun stuff.
Yeah,
we're doing this on a we're doing this in a G+ Hangout, which is awesome if you haven't tried one of those. Now, Bonnie,
our social media ratings just went up because of Kat.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, she knows, when the camera's on, so she jumps up.
That's hilarious. Kat's the original social commenters.
Yes.
So we're going to do a bit of ping pong back and forth. I'm going to ask you questions, and Andrew's going to jump in and ask you a totally technical question. So I guess you're up, Andrew. What do you got for Bonnie to make her brain hurt?
I'd like to ask what's her key social tools that she's using to manage her Twitter account, and how she handles such a large volume of followers, and how she keeps engaged with them and keeps that level of interaction high.
So for mobile, I use Plume, Plume. Nobody's ever heard of it. I do like it on my phone and on my tablet, and that's because with 100 and some odd thousand followers, managing them is difficult. So I use lists, which means I probably about 1,000 people, so I can regularly monitor about 1,000 people on lists, and people change on the lists. I rotate them through. So I use TweetDeck. I like TweetDeck. It's fast on my laptop and my workstation. So that's how I monitor. I also go through every once in a while, and I'll pick one follower, and I just wander up and down and see what they've said. And that's not one. That every day it's probably 4 or 5, just to see what I've missed, because I'm not on Twitter all the time. There may be other ways to do that, but I do it manually. And I'm using Commun.it, COMMUN.IT, to find influencers. And basically that tells me who's retweeted me, that kind of information, and also tells me other people who are influencers who haven't necessarily interacted with me, but nevertheless are interacting on Twitter. So I'm using Community a lot to try to find out what's going on. It has some automation that I don't particularly care for. It'll harvest Follow Friday lists, that kind of thing. I'm mostly on Follow Friday. It's somebody who I remember that we've had some kind of interaction. They retweeted, we had a conversation. So these days, that's what I use Follow Friday for. I know when I was building my community, I was a little bit more strategic about Follow Fridays. I don't know. Follow Friday has just lost the appeal that it had before. I don't know how other people feel about that. I think it's overdone. Hashtags are the other thing that just drive me crazy. I think they're overdone.
Some people put like 20 Follow Friday posts in a row out, right? Like to try and catch everybody kind of thing. It's funny.
Now, Bonnie, I want to jump in here and ask, for the person that's relatively new, and I'm not talking a rank amateur just got their or newbie that's just got their Twitter account, somebody that's maybe got 500, 600 followers, how can they build up that community? What's the best way?
The way that I do it is you find a community around a thought leader or an influencer. That may be somebody with only 2,000 followers, or it could be somebody with 200,000 followers, but someone. And you stick with that community for a week to 2 weeks, because now Twitter has less and less of a sense of humor about being aggressive. So you have to be very, very careful when you're building. Plus, you should be building a quality Twitter community. 100,000 people when 80,000 of them never sign on or never see your tweets there's no reason for that. I mean, it's just numbers. And yes, you can't, I agree that you can't reach all of 100,000 followers every single day, but at some point, if you have people that are connected, and it is possible to do that. So I would go back to pick a thought leader, pick an influencer, and then look at their account. So lists is a really good place to start, because that particular person has identified these people as important to them. And someone the influencer follows. Again, some kind of a decision was made to follow those people. Then I retweet the influencer once or twice during the week. You don't want to stalk them, but once or twice, because you want to become part of that community, and then just go in there and harvest. And now you have to do it manually. But that's not a bad thing if you've only got 500. You probably shouldn't be following and unfollowing 35 to 50 people a day. I would definitely not do any more than that. So you just go down and you follow.
That's what you meant by harvesting, though.
Yeah, that's what I
meant. Yeah, she's a social media farmer.
Yeah, I am. But it has to be done with some purpose. It's very nice to just go in there and click, 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 click all the way down. You can get fairly good at reading their bios very quickly. Or depending on what utility you're using, you can either read their bio or you could read their last chat. I like the bio better, but if you can get an idea of chat, because most of the time my tweets are education based, but every once in a while I do have a conversation with somebody, and my last tweet, it's about 1 in 100, might be thanks. So, the bio. So I would say that. And then the second part is you have absolutely have to have a very strong bio. It has to say who you are, what you do, where you are, and a URL. So I am a citizen of the universe, and I love to ride my bicycle. I don't care how talented you are. I don't give a damn. I don't even know where you are. So
have a strong bio, and when you're harvesting when you're harvesting followers, you want to be very strategic in who you're following. Make sure that it's not a waste of your time. They want to be in the niche that you're targeting, and or in the geolocation that you're targeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing, because under 2,000, you should keep them even. Because when you get to 2,000, they have to be even. Otherwise, Twitter won't let you move forward. And I like the idea of having them 10 to 15%, within 10 to 15% followers and following. If you're some movie star, you can do whatever you like. If you think you're a hot damn social media person, you can do whatever you like. But truly, this is supposed to be a conversation. And if you're following 200 people and 15,000, 60,000 people follow you, that's not a conversation. I don't know what it is. Ego.
Yeah, you're just broadcasting out to the people without, being part of the. You're not interacting with people.
No, not at all.
Okay. What do you think, Bob?
I agree 100%. It's for me, I kind of abuse Twitter a little bit because I'm always blasting stuff out. I'm creating so much content all the time, and I use Twitter for more of as hey, here's some great stuff. But I don't do 100% my content, and that was something I wanted to ask Bonnie, is what's a good ratio of your content compared to other people's content? Because I don't think it should be all your content. Bonnie, what do you think?
Almost, mine's probably 90% someone else's content. I've heard numbers 15 to 20% of your own content. Otherwise, it's not inbound marketing. It's advertising again. All you're doing is blasting something out. And the other thing is your content no matter whether it's your content or someone else's content, has to be of some interest to your community. It can't always be me. So even though it's someone else's content, there are people who twist it all around so it's always about them. And I think social media has come way past there, especially if you're marketing. And I think everybody is marketing on social media. So you're either marketing a product, your services, your point of view, or your point of view as a business person, or from the point of view of an organization or a religion, or your own personal point of view. You like that movie. It's all marketing. And
it goes back to the old saying that whenever two people are talking, somebody is selling something.
Absolutely. You spent the time to go on there to say something. So it's important to you, even if it's inane to 90% of the rest of the world. What I thought was very, very interesting was the way the world reacts to the plane crash that was in San Francisco a couple of days ago. So there were some very technical people on that airplane. And one of Samsung's executives was on the airplane. And one of the first things he did was, I can't remember that he used a utility to let everybody know that he was okay, what had happened, and that he was okay. And then he started tweeting about it. Not for him, but to let people know that he was okay and what had happened to the airplane. And I read a transcript of his tweets, and at some point someone said to him, I've got XYZ from CNN on the phone, and he said no. So I thought that's when it came to me, and I went back and I read them, that he wasn't looking for attention for himself, that he was communicating. This is the way he's communicating with the people that are around him. So there's that, his friends and his family and his co-workers, and then there would be other people who were friends and families and co-workers of the other people that were on the plane, and then the third level was the rest of the world. But not as a look at me, look what's happening to me, but as pure communication. And I think that's new, and he gets it, doesn't he? I mean, just using that channel, really, the best way, I thought it was genius. And it was something that he did without even thinking.
Mm-hmm. I actually, that's a very good segue to my next question, which is conversations. And this is a super basic thing, but I think this is where people all fail on Twitter or get stuck and then abandon Twitter and don't give it a chance, is how do you have a conversation on Twitter? It sounds so basic for you, Bonnie, I'm sure, but it's such a fundamental thing that most people don't get, and if they start a conversation, they do it wrong. So can you explain to people the mechanics of a conversation?
Well, it's something I struggle with too. Conversations are maybe 1% of what I do. I schedule an awful lot of the information that I put out to Twitter. Otherwise, you spend all of your time on Twitter, and I'm there 4 or 5 times a day for about 10 minutes. That's a lot. And during that time, I interact. So when I have a conversation, I don't consider thanks for the retweet, please retweet me, any of those kinds of things a conversation. Recently, I've discovered OneNote by Microsoft, which is Microsoft's version of Evernote. I also have an Evernote account, but it's a mess. So I went on and I said I was enjoying Evernote and the fact that it integrated with Office 365. And 2 or 3 people came back, quite techie people, came back and said, have you tried Evernote? So they weren't pushing anything on me, but we had an interesting conversation about the differences and the things that Evernote and OneNote had in common. So that was a good conversation. It lasted, I don't know, maybe an hour, probably 5. It was 2 people and myself, and maybe 5 tweets, and that was all. So that was good. I got another point of view. I went back and I looked at my Evernote as a result of that. It's still a mess and needs to be cleaned up, but who else? People I know, I have conversations with, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I've ever met them face to face, but we've had other conversations.
So which one wins, Evernote or OneNote?
Oh, I still like OneNote because right now I'm using Office 365 for most things, and I can schedule into Office 365. And Evernote has a cleanness that, OneNote has a cleanness, a simplicity of use that Evernote doesn't. Okay. And I think that's just because Evernote was one of the first, and so I find the GUI a little clunky.
Okay, I'll check it out. I've got it on my computer. I just haven't used it because I do use Evernote, but I'll check it out.
And then you'll be ranting about it on the Bunker Show. It's like, oh, you got to try it, man. It'll be awesome.
Well, it's good. I like things that are simple to use. Truly, you've got a brain. Why would you be spending, or exerting your brain power on something as silly as making notes? You should be using your brain for, creating things and doing great things, not every day-to-day things. So there you go.
Cool. Andrew, you got a hot question?
Sorry, I was just distracted there for a sec. A hot question. Okay, let me think of one here. What is... Okay, we're keeping this focused on Twitter, right?
Yeah, because I know you want to go, we'd love to digress and have a beer, but that's another show format. But, we're trying to keep on track here for sure.
Okay, so given that you started Women Talking Tech with Margaret Reynolds, and I'm sure you're doing some promotion using Twitter for that show. For someone who's got like a web show or a podcast, how would you recommend using Twitter to promote their content and get their show maybe more exposure?
We're just doing it the same way you would with a blog. So I find that you can, for every single blog post or webcast, you can tweet 3 times, because somebody may not have noticed it the first time. We have been saying we are going to tweet just before the show, and that just hasn't happened yet, because even though we're on our 13th show, we're still churning around before the show. And sooner or later we'll get to the point where we'll actually get everything on the checklist done. So right after the show, as soon as it's up on YouTube, we tweet. Each of us tweets out that that's been done. Then when I put the show up with the show notes up on the blog, it gets tweeted again. And about 3 or 4 days later, it gets tweeted again, slightly different languaging. And then probably around 8 or 9 days later, we tweet it again. And so far, we get okay numbers for all of it. So 3 seems to be a good number. I picked it out of a hat.
I wanted to ask you about the phenomenon of people tweeting while watching a TV program or watching a sporting event or something like that. Is that more of a fad thing? Is there a value to that, or do you think they're just utilizing it to jump on the wave of an event?
Okay. I can't do 2 things at one time. I've tried it. And truly, I would rather watch and enjoy whatever it is that I'm doing. And I know a couple of people now that are making notes about whatever's happening. Now, that happened to be a business event, a conference. And in between speakers, that's when she tweets and she spaces them out. And I thought that was pretty smart. I wish I had thought of it, but truly, you've got a speaker. The company spent a lot of money for you to be there to listen to that person. And if you're tweeting, I don't know, I can't tweet and listen to that person at the same time. So next time I'm going to go and I'm going to write these things down.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. I like that strategy. Yeah.
Maybe I'm not a big sports fan. I've never done that. So
or maybe watching Vikings. You do it for Vikings.
But I don't watch Vikings the same time. I don't watch TV the same way everybody else does. I binge.
Yeah.
And it's usually quite late at night.
Hey, I wonder if there's a hashtag binge.
There probably is.
Now, what I want to do is, because we're trying to keep these shows down to 25 minutes, we're kind of running out of time. One last question before we run away. Bonnie, for people that are in Twitter and want to do more with Twitter, what's the one thing that they should do that you recommend?
Keep your audience engaged. So everything you do should be about your community, about your audience. It's not about you.
And to do that, you use analytics to find out what they like and just give them more of it. Is that the strategy?
Well, I think you have to have a very good idea of who your niche market is, and that's right. And then you use analytics to find out what time and what they're interested in. And I'm surprised all the time about things that I think people are interested in, and I try different things all the time, and I'm always surprised. And my community is probably, I haven't done much building in the last 6 months, so I should know, and I have a good understanding, but once in a while, almost every day something, wow, they like that, so I keep track of that kind of thing. I mean, and sometimes you try it 2 or 3 times in a row, and it's not necessarily just news. So it wouldn't be just that it was news at that point, at that time. But sometimes, a few weeks later, they don't care about it anymore for whatever reason. But it cannot be about you. If it is, you better be some movie star, something.
Yeah, like I'm so awesome today, or I love my new mustache. Can't be just doing stuff like that.
No, you should be talking about your new mustache because...
Well, what you could talk about, though, is you could say, went to my barber to get my mustache trimmed. He's great.
Yes.
Here's his address in a bit.ly link. That would
or, once a year you grow your mustache for, what is it, cancer?
Yeah, it's prostate cancer for guys. That's that's
okay.
coming up pretty soon in about 3 months or 4 months.
Right. So then you can talk about it, because again, it's not about you. It's about cancer, and it's about people giving to cancer. It could even be about cancer survivors. But it's not
It's also about an excuse to grow a mustache.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually, that last thing you said, it's not all about you. That is basically the fundamental rule for PR, because, I talk to a lot of people that come and say, Bob, can you help us out with PR? And I say, sure. And they say, yeah, here's our product, make a press release. No, it doesn't work that way. We need the story behind the story before you can make a press release. So go find somebody that's using it and are doing something really cool, and then you can get some press. But people get inundated with just garbage, all of that, like 10,000 press releases a day, and I would say 99.9% of them are completely off base.
Yeah, and the press release is push marketing, right?
Yes.
Not inbound.
Yep.
And that reminds me actually of, I've been listening to Marcus Sheridan's podcast, Mad Marketing. He's the guy behind River, I think it's called River Pools.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. He's got this pool company that was almost went out of business during the economic downturn. And in 2009, he was on the brink of bankruptcy, and he just started blogging every day. And what he did was he just took all the questions that his sales reps were getting about fiberglass pools, because that was his specialty. He doesn't do concrete pools. He just does fiberglass pools. And he just answered all the questions in a daily blog. Every question that he got, he answered. And guess what people put into Google? They asked those questions.
Yeah.
And brilliant. He became the world's most trafficked pools website.
Wow.
And now he's doing consulting for content marketing. But and that's his own company's his biggest case study. But it's interesting. That's exactly what that what you just said reminds me exactly of that.
Can we talk about DMs before we go?
Absolutely. Good call, Bonnie.
DM.
Direct messages.
Direct messages.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Worst thing ever?
Don't. So often, I don't know who is telling newbies to direct message someone when they follow you. So what happens is there are utilities out there that will, when I follow you, send me a direct message. So that's just you and I see it. And it says something like, thank you for following me. Please friend my, I'm on Facebook too, or, check my LinkedIn group, or buy my shit. Come on. First of all, we just met. Margaret Reynolds, who I do Women Talking Tech with, calls it social media foreplay. And Alex Mondosian talks about walking into a bar, going up and talking to the best-looking woman in the place and asking her what you're going to name what we're going to name our firstborn. It's the same thing. Warm up. If you've got something interesting, I'm going to notice you. Maybe I might not notice you right away, but I'm going to notice you. And if you're particularly obnoxious about it, I block you now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think what happens too, Bonnie, is like if you're doing interesting stuff, you may not hear about it through me. You might hear about it through somebody else and say, hey, that Bonnie, she's got some great tweets, and say, oh, hang on, I'm following Bonnie. And then there's that, wow, let me check this out because they're being referred from a friend. And that's the most powerful referral.
Yeah, I know very few people who even bother with DMs anymore.
Yeah.
Simply because there's so much junk out there. And the other thing is, I can't remember the name of it, but there is some sort of a utility that you can use to prove that the follower is real.
Oh, yeah. I used to use that. I got rid of that.
I'm sorry. I'm not...
Manage Flitter does that, right?
Does it?
See who is real. Like what?
Oh, no. This is I follow you, and you've got this utility that says I have to go to this website and put this thing to prove
to authenticate that you're not a bot.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's asking a lot of a person,
but there's a lot of people still who use that, and once in a while, I even found people who are private. I don't know why you're on Twitter. Twitter maybe at one point used to be one of the only ways that you could communicate back and forth, but there are so many other utilities where you can communicate with a private group. You don't need Twitter to do that.
Yeah, there's lots of other tools like email and a phone.
Well, yeah, and there are others too. The fellow from Samsung was using Path, I think it's called.
Okay.
So there we are.
Awesome. Bonnie, thank you very much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And I want to have you come back again, and we will ask some new questions for more advanced users. I'm sure our listening audience would be fascinated in finding out more great tips and tricks from Bonnie. You can follow Bonnie. How can people follow you on Twitter?
B Sainsbury.
Okay. That is B as in Bonnie, and then Sainsbury, SAINSBURY at Twitter.
Yep, just like the
winner of the spelling bee goes to Bob.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Now that's an inside joke because I'm the world's worst speller, but I was cheating and I just moused over Bonnie's picture, and so there's no way I'd have tried done that with guessing. That's for sure. Andrew, do you have anything before we wrap?
No, that was great. Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
We hope you enjoyed the show, and I'm sure you will love our next guest. But until then, visit the website at maveninterviews.com for more information and links to iTunes, Twitter, and other social media platforms. If you would like to leave a message, please call 1-877-636-1474. You never know, it might be you featured on the show.